What's up, clan? Island Trader here. Hope you guys had an excellent week. We're going back to the basics. Last video was a bit different, a bit off route, but we're going to be looking at how we performed this week. This week was more or less a break-even week, I would say. With the current Trump markets, if you're at break-even, then you could say fine God, because a lot of people are taking L's. You have surges of volatility in the market popping up left, right, and center. So, in all things, still have to give thanks. But we're going to jump straight to the charts. We're going to do a trade recap of the win and of the L, which put us at break even. Okay, ciao. Okay, so now that we're on the charts, let's head straight into business. We're going to go ahead and start off with the win. I'm going to put the screenshot somewhere on the video. Screenshot is going to be there. I think I'm just going to put the PNL altogether. USD card, that was our win. Well, as you would have known, if you're following closely and you're looking at the markets on a regular, I feel like ever since Trump has come into power, the US dollar just weakens. No matter how much they push up, they push back down. As a matter of fact, I came to a realization that, I don't think I should be trying to buy the US dollar, especially if you're scalping. Maybe you might probably get a chance here or there. But if you a day trader or a swing trader, that's just my opinion. I just feel like the US dollar, it would be better to look for sales. Anyways, regardless, let's look at the charts. On the daily time frame, we could definitely see there was a whole bunch of chop going on, consolidation, where USD CAD is concerned. What I would have wanted to see is for USD CAD to break below this low right here. And like I've said in pretty much all of my videos, if you want to see the actual low without the wicks, just go on your line chart right here. Line chart, and then you have a nice clean low. We want to see price break below this low. So I saw this push below, right? That was a Thursday, that was the 3rd. And of course, after every expansion, you will have what you call a retracement back into the zone, back into the consolidation. And essentially, this is what I was looking for. So we're jumping down to the 1 hour chart. Where trading the Trump markets is concerned, that's my own, opinion. I feel like staying on the 15 minutes and making executions on the 15 minutes is a bit risky because you have a lot of stop hunts going on. You could even see on the 1 hour, look at this right here. Boom. Stop hunt high, close. You have one right here. Stop hunt low, close. Right? And that's on the 1 hour. So I could only imagine what people trading on the smaller time frames are facing. Anyways, regardless, back to the video. After we got this retracement, this is the retracement right here. Okay, we got this retracement back into the consolidation. Remember, all of this is the consolidation. Let's not forget. All right, this is the low right here, and we get a retracement back into the consolidation. Picked right here, and then they push down. So what I wanted to see is a close below this low, right? I wanted to see a close below this low, but I wanted it to come with a fair value gap. Oftentimes, a fair value gap shows the strength or the momentum of the pair at the time, right? And we did not get it here, okay? Then we got a push below this low right here. So let's go to the line chart. Bam. We could see a nice clean low, and we could see that price just fell below it. And when price fell below it, we could definitely see it left behind a FVG, a fair value gap, right here. Let me just go ahead and draw that out. Right here. Nice and clean. I just waited for price to tap back into that fair value gap that is basically overlapping with this low, right? Let me delete this, make sure my chart is clean. And as soon as price tapped into it, I was expecting an immediate drop to the downside. Bam. But as you can see with the Trump markets, price rallied all the way up. At one point, I felt like, okay, you know what? Price is going to take me out again. What can I do? I mean, I already accepted the risk. There's nothing else that I could do. But of course, there was a reversal after price pushed above this high. Well, the close of this area, because if you go down to the line chart, this is the intermediate high right here. Okay, we're just going to mark that out, and then we're going to go back to the candles, and we could see after price swept the close of this high, you had a massive dump to the downside. Now, someone may say, but if you see price do that already, sweep the close here, and they kind of started falling, why you didn't enter? At the end of the day, with the Trump markets and the volatility, you just want to stick to your plan, right? The more you avoid sticking to your plan, in the future, you're going to continue to not stick to your plan. And at the end of the day, it will be devastating for you. So that was our win. It was essentially a 1:1, 1:1.2, right? But that was our win. Price, smash TP. I was going for these lows right here. Kind of an equal low, well, barely-ish. But that was the low that I was going for. So let's now jump over to the L. So the L was on GBP NZD. Let's go to the daily chart. As a matter of fact, I think I was really looking at the 4-hour order flow at the time, right? We could definitely see that price was bullish, right? Creating higher lows, right, on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so you had a nice expansion to the upside, right? I was looking for price to tap back into that fair value gap that it made. I did not feel like that tap was sufficient, so I did not go off of that. Price expanded again, and then I said, nice. If price comes back into not just this fair value gap, but into this 4-hour order block, I'm going to look for an expansion to the upside on the lower time frame. Of course, one with a fair value gap, and I'm going to look for price to come and tap into that FVG, and I'm going to tackle these 4-hour highs right here, which is the close. I don't tackle the wicks. But just off the rip, we could see for a fact that price never came near that wick. If you don't believe me, look at it for yourself. Oftentimes, price tackle the close. Yes, there are times it goes for the wicks, but majority of the time when price tackle the close of high time frames, you're going to see a reversal. Check it out for yourself if you don't believe me. So when I jump down to my 30-minute time frame, we could see a nice clean sweep of the order block and then an expansion to the upside. Now I was excited about that, because after I get a sweep of liquidity and then an expansion, all I need is for price to come back into this fair value gap right here, which it did. Nice little tap, and then they started pushing to the upside, and then ultimately they hit stop loss, right? I placed my stop loss here. I just felt like having my stop loss all the way here would have been way too big, so I left it here, and ultimately we could see what price did. Price came, price swept again below this low that it created. Remember, this low was to sweep the order block right here, Price came and swept the low that it previously used to sweep the order block, and then there was an expansion to the upside. Look at it. Straight expansion to the upside and straight into TP. What can I say? What can I say? Oftentimes, your thinking cap needs to be on. Remember, you playing against some of the most brilliant minds in the world. When I saw that, I just said, well played, because I feel like they know for a fact that they understand the concept of liquidity and what traders are looking out for. Right? Traders are not as aggressive anymore, so they understand the fact of liquidity. So coming a second time to sweep, man, kudos. So imagine the guy that had his stop loss all the way here. Yeah, I feel sorry for him. But price swept again and then came straight for the close, and then they dumped to the downside. So that was the L. So we had one win, one loss, and essentially this is trading. Some days you win, some days you lose, but that's just what it is. All right, so we're going to come back next week. We're going to come back stronger. But that's it for the video. If you did enjoy that video, please like the video, leave a comment. It doesn't hurt. And if you like what I'm doing, be sure to subscribe. Ciao.